When I was a child, I listened to a lot of conversations. One of the reasons is that I am shy and I don't like to talk. I just like to listen. The second is that my parents does not approve of children meddling in adult talks. So, what I did is I listened to conversation and tried to mimic their words. As I gradually grew up, I learned to decipher the meaning behind their words. I have observed that when my parents or any other adults talk, sometimes they don't literally mean what they said. Sometimes they have hidden meaning behind their words. I became sensitive to informations. I just don't trust the literal meaning of their utterances anymore. I try to understand their motive, where they came from, what is their purpose for saying that. And with that process, I learned to understand what is the person's mind, how are they thinking, what is their purpose. So, with just observing their facial expressions, the tone behind their voice, the way that they are articulating the words, or their body actions. I have observed that sometimes people are directly lying to one, or being sarcastic, or plainly rude, something like that. Now, as an adult, I can already tell if a person is genuine, if a person is lying, if a person is just faking it, or a person uses sarcasm. And that is one thing that they said is my goal, skill set. It is a skill set because being able to tell what people meant without them explicitly, I mean, implicitly telling you or directly telling you the meaning behind what they want to deliver is such a skill set. Now, when I entered college, I get to encounter a term, pragmatic analysis. And with that, I get to encounter the term discourse analysis. And it got me so interested because a discourse is a verbal or written communication between people that goes beyond a single sentence. It is a communication, a discourse is a communication between two people that are conversing. But sometimes it is a communication that goes beyond a single sentence. It is a pragmatic study that tends to analyze the meaning behind the discourses that was uttered by humans. Now, how do we analyze the sentences that were uttered and know what are the meaning or what are the intention behind that sentence? Now we get to consider the context of how, of where, of why they are uttering those sentences. For example, there were two friends talking, and the first friend says, "It is such a good day, right?" And then the other person replies, "Oh, is it?" Now, with just that simple conversation, with the literal meaning, if you want to decipher the literal meaning of it, the first person is just asking if it is a good day, and the second person is clueless and is asking, is it? Or the second person wanted a confirmation. But if you will apply a context, their tone, their body language, you will understand that that is not as simple as that conversation. You will learn to understand that there is a relationship between the first person and the second person because for me, if I will decipher for that conversation, the first person is awkward and is trying to elevate the mood by doing small talks. So the first thing a person would do in doing a small talks is comment about the weather. It is a good day, is it? And then the second person is sarcastic in answering, is it? Is it really? Like you want to say, talaga? So she's being sarcastic, like she's actually saying, why would I care about the weather? Why would I care if the weather is good? So there is actually not a good relationship, or not necessarily not a good relationship. It is actually a negative conversation because it reflects negatively on the context, because they are not being polite to each other. Instead they are using sarcasm. So it is important to know the context behind the conversation to have a pragmatic analysis. So it is a skill set that most of us should be able to acquire, because nowadays we want to be politically correct, we want not to uh, offend certain people, or we want to thread lightly for us to be on the safer ground. So it is important for us to learn discourse analysis. It is important for us to know how to determine the context from where they are talking, so that we can understand what they are saying. Because when we try to be politically correct, or we try to thread lightly, we can't be direct, or as they say, be frank with our sentences, with our words. So we have to dilly dally, we have to use beautiful words in order to deliver criticisms or things, negative things. So, and that is also done by other people. So in order to know what are the true meaning of their utterances, we need to be able to know the context and understand it, for us to really know the communication that they are trying to give to us. Discourse analysis is an important tool. It is an important skill set that we must acquire, and we really should try to acquire it nowadays. Thank you.